Coma draft with a new system. 10 bans coming through. Jin Air on the blue side. First thing that they'll take away is going to be that Elise.
Really interesting to track. Watching the game so far, there has been 1 day of challengers and 1 day of LCK played on the 10-ban system. So when it comes to Premier Regions, they're the first 2 debuts of this 10-ban system. So far, 100% pick ban has been Maokai, LeBlanc, Camille, Ryze, Rengar, Zyra, and Varus. Lots of power picks, a lot of flexible champions. The only champion that's been banned in all 10 games that have been played so far is LeBlanc, and no surprise that it's banned, but kind of a surprise that it's SKT that have to ban LeBlanc, but of course it's because they are on the red side.
Yeah, I mean, Kuzan wouldn't mind getting his hands on that champion. So just want to take that one off the board. Syndra, the follow-up from Jin Air. See where they want to go. We get some nice remix music going on here.
You gotta be on your toes. Every time there's been a break, they'll just remix that familiar champion select before you know it.
But Camille off the board. Rengar as well, but a really popular ban so far.
We've seen it once. Crash played it, and Crash dominated. And Longzhu's only win against Samsung yesterday, so predictably is banned away. The trend so far has been, if there's a real high priority mid laner, you might see it taken. A Ryze, for example. Camille also was taken at first pick when available. But with Ryze banned here, the general trend has been bot lane and support in the first round, and then the counter picking predictably begins as we get into the second round of the draft.
Yep. And Cassiopeia, something that we've also seen maintain its level of priority in the mid lane. Could see that come out later in the draft. For now, with the jungle pool pinch just slightly, Lee Sin will be coming through from Umti on the side of Jin Air. And so I'm not going to be going for something in the bottom lane to start things off. Want to get a very strong jungler to kick things off at the start. SK Telecom could just be going for the Ashe. There we go. They're going to lock that in with the Zyra.
And that's just the predictable. Again, the bot lane has been the focus. With all AD carries available, it's interesting to see Ashe still retaining the same position it did by the time the World Championships reached its final stage. The utility carries still seem to be the story. The answering pick to Ashe so frequently has been the Jhin, both of them initiators. So wouldn't be surprised to see it here. And we could also see the MF locking, because that is still the pick du jour to deal in lane with the Zyra.
Yeah, very well could see that one come through from Snowflower, but the Jhin for now, absolutely locked up. And the Tahm Kench, another one that has been, played in the past to counteract that Ashe. You see the arrow come through. If it connects,
it's a more general thing as well. So the story so far has been a lot of lane power. They've been just locking in Misfortune to focus on laning. Tahm Kench's laning the support role, not wonderful, but you pick it out, Achilles. A lot of comps have been all about, in the second round, developing a strong pick comp. Ashe is the start of that. Ashe, Kha'Zix now, something like a Nautilus to really set up reliable CC for the deletion damage from Kha'Zix has been the story. So Tahm Kench, I was going to say, is rising in priority because, okay, you trade the 2v2 laning, but because so many teams are running pick comps, Tahm Kench is the ultimate answer to something like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Yeah, big denial, but you see right there, and you heard the gas from the crowd, Kha'Zix locked in for Peanut. Has been running rampant on the Rift for quite some time, now going into the second ban phase. Malzahar off the board from SK Telecom, Rumble as well from Jin Air. So that's been a bit of an interesting one, seeing the Rumble come back out in the bans. We saw some of that yesterday.
I mean, the big story yesterday was, of course, Smeb's favorite blind pick top laner was the Rumble, so it was a targeted ban there. I'm really interested to see Malzahar banned first when Tahm Kench is already shown. Tahm Kench is going to be the support pick here. Outside chance, you could say that Ixu effects at the top, but not really realistic. So it's surprising to see a Malzahar ban after support was locked in. The Katarina ban from Jin Air is predicted. By far the most played for Faker has been Katarina and solo queue. Him and BDD right up the top of solo queue, playing a lot of that Katarina, so not wanting to offer that. And now with Maokai taken away, considered by myself and many analysts the strongest top laner right now because can lane so well, especially after the Poppy nerfs, that he just gets through the laning phase and is the strongest tank late game. Waiting to see what Jin Air wants to do because they have to blind pick mid lane. And Cassiopeia, it's been a comfort pick for Kuzan in the mid lane. And you hear that, Gus? That's Ixu locking in Kled. Interestingly, Kled is his third most played in solo queue, so I had it on the list if we got to see some top lane bans.
LCK, and we are just chock full of surprises. I like it, and I think that we are going to have one hell of a day worth of games coming towards us. Papa Smithy, get ready to kick things off with game one here. Jin Air, SKT, interesting drafts on both sides. I'm really excited to see Peanut come out with this Kha'Zix. We know how aggressive he likes to play. If he can get rolling on that, then it is just going to be absolutely devastating.
But all focused on the solo lanes because of the change. Counter picking is a true story, so we'll get more information about the Kled versus Maokai. I think in the first 4 levels, there could definitely be some all-in potential for the Kled. The jungle, both these players most played recently has been the Lee Sin, but Peanut picks up the Kha'Zix. That has certainly put up a lot of impression. We'll talk about the re-rise of Kha'Zix into the competitive scene later. Faker was the one that got the counter pick when it comes to the other solo lane, though. Orianna traditionally does very well against Cassiopeia after laning phase. And then AD carry support, sure, Tahm Kench is not wonderful, but expect mostly a farm lane between these two teams.
Yep. We'll have to see how Teddy is going to fare in that bottom lane. I mean, promising talent. We saw him, as mentioned in the Kespa Cup, looked quite. Let's go ahead. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get on to the rift for Game 1, SKT versus Jin.
The level 3. Already some pink ward coverage here, so Kuzan does have some information about coming in.
Yeah, he's going to jump right in onto Kuzan, gets a good amount of damage, and flash forward from Faker. The last auto attack takes him down. First blood going over to SKT.
Yeah, we didn't toggle vision, so we can't be 100% certain that he spotted Peanut, but end result was just enough. Wolf, though.
Yeah, in a bad spot, has to throw out the exhaust. Going to be traded back onto Bang. Snowflower not able to secure a kill. Wolf does one hell of a story to see how that super team can come together and continue to grow. Oh, here we go, though. Umti coming in. Nice petrifying gaze onto Faker. Beautifully played by Umti and Kuzan in the mid lane. Faker just didn't even see it coming.
Faker looks...
Peanut just putting down this dragon.
He looks bemused as Faker. Did not see it coming like you said. Peanut falls super low. No burn effect on...
He goes down and a kill does go over to Umti. Couldn't hand it off to Kuzan, but you Lee Sin a kill. Not the worst of things. I'm sure they're going to be pretty happy about that in the end.
He's going for a solo Q build as well. When you see the Rejuve bead, you know it's going to be Tiamat, so going to have fairly damaging clear.
Oh boy, Teddy. We get hit up by that Cheddar Crystalline arrow, but the exhaust is through from Bang. Flash forward by Snowflower. Finds Wolf and takes him out. Pretty much a solo kill just about onto the Zyra. Nicely done by Jin. They'll put a second kill on the board and find themselves with a very slight gold lead.
Our intro teases all about the splitting up of the Rocks Tigers predictably as the second strongest team in the world, most would say. On the end of last year, Ixu's going to channel the ult. I'll finish that thought in a moment.
Yeah, he's charging through, but Faker, he's already out of there. Didn't even need to pop. The Ghost just gets that move speed from the command distance, and he is fine underneath this tower.
We're going to have to call that one a mulligan. It's kind of a single thought in your mind. It was Snowflower and Sangyu. It wasn't the skills of one or the other, as Faker has to respect Flash.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Snowflower going low, doesn't have any summoners, but they can't quite get to him to finish him off.
They're so lucky the wave came just as it did. It buys them time. Now Umti can rotate down. Now suddenly, it's an overstay by Peanut and Wolf. And they have to back away. Minutes of game 1, but it's going to be an ongoing story, just how SKT fit together, because...
That's okay. Abyssal Voyage into the back. Bang's going to flash away from that first shot. Second's not going to connect. And now, it does clip him here. But the Tongue Lash isn't going to land. Ash Arrow comes through onto Umte. The Devour comes through by Snowflower. And no one will die, but they get a heck of a lot of Summoner Spells out of Bang.
Ix is already flashed preeminently here. I believe he saw Cards on the ward. Yep, pinged him out. So did not want to stay overextended. He's kind of lucky in that his ultimate's kind of an escape also, just like Sion's was when he was in the meta. So you can just roll away when you see the jungler coming, even if it flashes down.
Sion is like kind of yelling at you as he's charging away from you. He's calling you like a pansy, and he's running away at the same time. Peanut trying to get in on the Kuzan, but he pops a Ghost and will be able to waddle his way out of the mid lane.
Played a couple of competitive games, but certainly not the relevant experience. So seeing these players here, and then knowing that Ixu very much is a solid top laner, knowing that Kuzan is one of those star mid laners towards the middle of the pack in Korea. It's a lot to like as Ixu.
Oh, it's going to interrupt the charge. Here comes Peanut. Skarl goes heading for the hills, and looks like they will pick up the kill. Peanut taking that one away. One starting item that's sort of built from the Jin, but here comes Peanut yet again. Beautiful shockwave set up by Faker. Peanut leaps in over the wall. They hand yet another kill over to the Kha'Zix, but now Ixu has something to say about this. Bear Trap on a rope, connects on the Faker, draws him back in, and Ixu is able to take him out.
Yeah, really nice collapse. Just because of the timing, Ixu was coming from spawn. Didn't have teleport up.
But still, Just going to be maintaining pretty much perfect harmony across the board outside of the turrets. Snowflower has to flash away. Want to get popped up by the vines, but Ash Arrow comes through. They lock him up. Pops a great health. Blast Cone sends him over the wall, and Peanut back into the Dragon Pit, and he will make it out alive. Nicely played by Snowflower.
Yeah, Snowflower actually autoed it, but got interrupted by the Ash Arrow, then still lived through the CC duration, got over anyway, so got out. But first Drake was soloed by Peanut. The second one will get some help. And just talking a bit about Kha'Zix, you know, a lot of people think of him as a solo queue champion just because who traditionally has been anchored to mid. Okay, we're going to see this ult.
Yeah, charge is coming through, jumps straight in onto Huni. Brutal connect on the Wolf, throws down the ultimate, flashes away, but it doesn't matter. Umte is sticking to him like glue. Devour comes through from Snowflower, keeping his Lee Sin alive. But here comes Faker, throws out the orb, but doesn't go for the shockwave. Peanut is able to pick up a kill onto the Lee Sin, and now Faker finding Snowflower, burns through him as well. 2 for 1 in favor of SK Telecom, plus a turret in the bottom lane. Nicely traded across the board. SK Telecom that. But to fake out SKT. Peanut, in the meantime, he's been really dedicated to these dragons. Moving over, we'll find a second Mountain Drake by the look of things. Things are coming out. Ixu throws a ward over the wall, so they see this being taken, but doesn't look like they want to try and go contest this.
Looking for an angle. They do have the ultimate from Ixu up. Drake's low. They just end up waiting too long. They had pretty much complete information, really creative angles from the Kled initiation. Otherwise, it just feels like Maokai is going to kind of shrug and stop it from being
Oh boy, Umti, goodbye and good night. Gets caught out over the wall with the roots from Wolf, and they absolutely decimate him. Faker taking away that kill, and that's going to open up for this final tier 1 to fall in favor of SKT. 2,500 gold on the board for them. And Ixu just keeps wanting to run at Faker. He hasn't really found any good initiations yet. But yeah, one of the things I was actually about to bring up before MC got caught was there's really no tanky frontline for Jin Air. No one can run at this SKT lineup.
Shot in the Baron, we can't see the health. Okay, it's down to 3,000 already.
Yeah, they're really working through this one. Ixu in the thick of the pit. Bang has to flash out the back. You have to expect that Peanut will have the kill. There it is, comes through. Kuzan going low, flashes away, but I don't think it's enough. Flash forward from Huni, locks him up with the Q. He's got Ixu sticking to him like glue, takes that twisted advance forward to find a kill onto the enemy mid laner, tries to run away. Not able to do so. Now Faker alone with Teddy takes him out. Ixu will connect with that bear trap. MT rejoining the team. Dragon's Rage forward. Misses the Sonic Wave, but Faker doesn't really have anywhere to go. Draws the ball into himself. It still goes down. 4 Baron buffs lost on the side.
So much consistent damage. We're going to see the replay. Important ultimate, got them the vision, they got them the knowledge. Baron goes down quickly, but then Jin Air commit, and they commit at the right time. Baron's at 1,600 health. Suddenly Bang has to flash out of the pit, and sure, no counter smite to try and interrupt Peanut, but Peanut goes down, and crucially, Ixu is free hitting with these violent tendencies. Faker walks in, gets the assassination on Teddy. You think things are fine, but Bang has given up on this fight, and Ixu just keeps acquiring target after target, hits those skill shots. Umti respawns. He wasn't even alive when the Baron was started.
I mean,
and Ixu's just the MVP here.
It's sub 25 minutes. The respawn timers tell another tale. So SKT able to get that turret. Where do they go from here? You can see Huni starting the push up into the top lane. Dragon coming up, and Peanut, he's there in an instant. Infernal Drake, looking like it's going to go over to them. MT getting hit up by that shockwave. Faker just making sure they can't even get towards the pit to try to contest. And SKT now with the Infernal Drake would be able to kill it that much faster. Teddy going to go ahead, pop the Ghost Blade. He's going to start running up the river, trying to get towards Peanut.
Yeah, Peanut and Faker corralled.
Oh yeah, they're going to lock down Faker. Gets devoured, flashes away, still getting hit by the bullets, and he's going to die now. Peanut really nowhere to go, jumps over the wall, can't flash out. There's too many people, has to run up the lane. Looks like he will be able to make it out alive. Huni trying to come in on the flank. Gets pushed back by Kuzan, firing off with those twin fangs. Root won't connect from the deadly flourish, nor will the damage from the redemption. They'll get a big heal onto Kuzan, however, and Jin Air is going to be happy about that. Now with Faker gone, they're going to look to push up this mid lane, maybe get a tier 2 of their own.
So Peanut was the one caught out putting aggressive vision, and then Faker tried to back him up, and then was caught in his own right. Suddenly Jin Air have inside track to mid. They don't have a minion wave, but for now that's not going to be an issue. Getting some damage down. They're going to finally wait and follow this minion wave as, Huni was pulling the minion wave, stopping them from getting an uncontestable in a turret.
Yeah, but I mean, still a couple seconds left on Faker. Looks like they will give up on the push, so Huni, nice job by him, did have to...
Umti, his you know, reputation was smaller, but still up there. People still said this guy's got something about him compared to, say, Haru, who couldn't get it done on CJ but looked good on Samsung yesterday. And he's played well here as well.
Ash Arrow coming through, locks up Ixu. Still has that Guardian Angel, still has Snowflower there to bail him out. Call's opened up. Teddy looking for Wolf or Bang, won't get too many shots, and finds Faker with a 4th and final. We'll take a decent chunk off of him. And SKT in a really awkward position. A little bit dissected here as Peanut was cut off from the rest of the squad. Mooney trying to take up in the front lines. It's going to be Strangledoors thrown down. Teddy getting beat on by those plants. Doesn't go down yet, but they're able to find Snowflower. That's the bailout for Jin Air. Completely wiped off the board. Big shockwave coming through. Umte able to jump out to safety. Kuzan still untouched with his Cassiopeia. He can't even try to turn around and help Ixu. Just has to hightail it, get himself out to safety. And Ixu, the land of the slaughter, surrounded by SKT, will go down. They get the Guardian Angel as well before that. And that should be a Baron, a second one going over to SKT.
My assessment of this Kled when it comes to the 5v5 team fights comes true. 2 team fights in a well. No way to acquire a target that isn't Huni in the front line. The last person you want to be focusing on. And crucially, it's just as Baron is spawned. They'll be able to rush it down instant. Look at the deletion damage coming out. It doesn't matter that they don't have a tank to tank it up. Such as the damage they put out. And okay, Elder Drake spawn. We're a little bit ahead of the game there. It is going to be a final Mountain Drake. That's 3 Mountain Drakes. So Baron at any point, you need consistent vision and you need surprised.
That would be pretty shocking.
He builds quite a lot of damage on his Rek'Sai even, so.
Yeah, Titanic Hydra. Kick things off with a very early Tiamat. That's just his style, man. It seems like SKT have found a good mesh so that everyone can play their styles, other than maybe Huni, who has been playing Maokai.
I mean, he's got Knight's Vow Maokai, just to provide more defensive stats for Faker, of course. Who else would it be? No AD carry. No.
Huni's really just trying to stamp out the Reddit criticism. Like, no, guys, I can play tanks.
I mean, Knight's
Vow play for the team.
Is the most obvious shield your, help out your AD carry item, but it's 2017, so Faker, of course. Being SKT and 2017, Bang gets no help at all.
I mean, if Koma tells you to build a Knight's Vow, you build a Knight's Vow, Papa. That's just how it goes.
The problem is he only said build Knight's Vow. He didn't clarify who for.
Yeah.
He didn't get to the link up. I just get the Knight's Vow. It's a support item, Huni.
It doesn't matter what champion it is. Build a Knight's Vow. Bang, gonna get some nice alone time on the turret. It's a little bit of damage, but now Huni gets a command protect just for that added defense. Walks up, and they're just starting to whittle this away. Super Creep wave pushing into the base right now. Jin Air, they're going to have to respond to this. Get a root onto Bang. Curtain Call comes out. Wolf takes the first. Huni looks like he might just take the preceding ones. And he will.
It's Maokai. So, to me, the best way to actually get an advantage for Jin Air is they're going to have Snowfire.
Oh, couldn't even use the great health shield. Bang just pops him with a massive crit. Now Huni coming in on the backside, gets a massive lockdown on the members of Jin Air. Ixu barely able to escape the shield from Umte, keeping him alive. Making sure he doesn't lose that GA, but nice sniping from Teddy. Will pick up Wolf as a consolation prize, but with no Cassiopeia, no Snowflower to bail out the remaining members of Jin Air, SKT, they are just going to leave the base in shambles as they push in and look for potentially all 3 inhibitors. The top one has respawned, but they could certainly sweep right through the base.
Yeah, SKT just needed to pick on someone. Picking the Tahm Kench is so much easier than relying on him being out of position.
He can't devour himself. That would look really weird.
Exactly. That would be weird. That would be weird from many different perspectives. I don't even know how you communicate that graphically.
Did you just vanish?
I guess so.
Inside your own
He just instantly take both objectives. It's push forward the minions. There's the Baron. Baron could be dead right now. We wouldn't know.
It's pretty close. There we go. That last 3,000 disappeared in about a second and a half.
I mean, it's dirty how much damage SKT do to the Baron. That 20%.
And yeah, it looks like it might just be both objectives picked up. Jin Air hovering around on this bottom side of the river. They do have some of their waves pushed out, so they are at least not in danger of losing their Nexus Turrets at the moment. But look at this Elder Dragon just completely vanishing. He throws out that Sonic Wave. Won't be able to push forward. SKT, do they want to try to finish this one? Looks like it will be a yes. Peanut does find it. 4 buffs going over to them. Umti has to flash away immediately. Ixu getting locked out. Loses Skarl. Still has the Guardian Angel up to try to keep himself alive, but the Ash Arrow comes through from Bang. Huni locking him down with a Twisted Advance. They pop the GA. Ixu, he is dead to rights at this point. Peanut wants a taste of the action. Jumps over the wall. Actually doesn't even get an assist on that. He died before the Q even went off. And SKT, after finding that pig, it looks like they're going to end the game right here at 45 minutes.
Just teleporting in onto the super minion. It's going to be multiple minion waves and a Huni who is unkillable in the front line. And Jinan put up a good defense, but SKT, predictably, get it done in the last.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start for them, considering their usual pace, but they get the ball rolling, and it just doesn't stop SK Telecom 17-10 in the end with a 14,000 gold lead, take down Jin Air in game 1 in just under 45 minutes.
Still a couple of things to work out for SKT, but so far, so good. First question answered. Can Huni play tanks? Well, he's played Maokai before. Seemed pretty good on it here. He went the most supportive build you could ever ask. Who got the Locket? Who got the Knight's Vow? Both of them from Huni.
Just give him a redemption, and you're good to go.
I mean, when you have a jungler like Kha'Zix, you know the damage will be there when you have Faker on your team. Doesn't matter the champion, but Faker Zoriana, bang on Ashe, and then you have a damaged jungler as well. So he knew his role, and that's the only question mark you really have. The talent is certainly there on the paper for SKT. Could they adapt to their roles? And with a support staff like SKT, with the experience of SKT, we shouldn't be surprised. The answer, very resoundingly, is yes.
Yep. Well, really well played by SK Telecom. Jin Air having a very strong early game, you do have to say. Give credit where credit is due.
I mean, Jin Air wasn't embarrassed.
Yeah.
They played competitively for a lot.